Wolves captain Max Kilman has been added among the centre-back options for Manchester United. Meanwhile, Joshua Zirkzee's move is closing in. Welcome to the United Road Sport. My name is Webb. We are talking transfers concerning strictly Manchester United. Like, share, and subscribe, as the latest coming in now is that Max Kilman has been added to the list of potential signings for Manchester United as they do move on from Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, Kilman is 27 years of age, first of all. He's English, and it seems United are determined to sign an English centre back. And well, Kilman is beginning to be an option now. They will be trying to go into competition with West Ham United, who have shown more interest in him for a longer time as they look to reunite him with his former boss, Julien Lopetegui. So United are reportedly set to try and inquire about him if they can indeed go ahead and table a bill for him. Like we know now, according to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the centre back and the striker are the top positions to solve for Manchester United before pre-season. Now, Kilman is 27, first of all, 2 years older than the age that we were told Ineos will be looking to sign players at. But he's an experienced player. He's a leader. He's the captain of Wolves, and he's English. I mean, that's important as well. It seems now for a centre back position. But honestly, for me, I'll still, I mean, say if we have to go for an English centre back, why are we going for one who is not even at the Euros? I'll still personally prefer Maguire over any option. And not that to say Kilman is a bad player, because he's a leader. For me, that's important, because Man United needs more leaders in the team. To be competitive in the Premier League, you need to have as many leaders as you can get in all departments. But for me, I don't see him as a better option than Maguire, because Guehi is at the Euros and he's balling, he's comfortable. He has first time he's starting in senior in big games like this, but he's taking it. I think of all England players, I think like Guehi is one of those few you can say is playing well. So for me, I really would say yes. Whereas West Ham have tabled, believed to want to table £25 million, which is expected to be rejected by Wolves. So meaning they value him at around close to 35 to 40 million pounds. For me, I'm saying if you can get that, that's enough money to get us probably just over than a slightly over than that or higher than that would get us Maguire. Why then should we be going for Kilman? For me, I would still go for Guehi, who is even younger. That's my honest opinion. But that's a report that came through. David Onsen, in fact, spoke about it in his recent race. I think a day or two ago, I just overlooked it. But yeah, it is indeed true that Man United are looking at Max Kilman. Now, I've seen a report somewhere, because we are closing in on signing the Bologna striker in Joshua Zirkzee. And of course, these legends of Man United will always come up with their opinions. And for some reason, you listen to them, because if Dwight York speaks, who are you not to listen? He was goals for Manchester United. Now, he has come out and spoken and said that he doesn't fancy Joshua Zirkzee, saying that whereas he's a good player, he's not. Why do you spend money on Joshua Zirkzee when you have Rasmus Højlund? He says to him they are one and the same. I think he goes back to the earlier theory that we believed that Ineos would be going for a more experienced striker to come and partner Rasmus Højlund, trying to give him things to learn off him and stuff like that. So Dwight York feels like us going for Zirkzee is not progressive. He thinks it's wastage of money, because he feels the two players, they are both young and have a lot to learn, but who are they going to learn from? So he feels that's a different profile. In fact, he goes on to say that, in fact, he says if Rasmus Højlund doesn't perform immediately next season, doesn't kick off immediately and consistently perform next season, he will be, taking a lot of scrutiny, because the grace period or honeymoon is done for him, and of course people will be demanding. I actually feel like in his first season, he took it by storm. We didn't expect him to score in every game, but 14 goals in your first season, yet you are playing with selfish players in a poor United like that. For me, I've got no doubt. I think it's unfair for Dwight York to be saying that Rasmus Højlund did not kick off in the last season. I think he did instantly. I would say it was an instant hit. He scored the same, if not more, goals than Wayne Rooney scored in his first season at Man United. So for me, yet he's playing in a worse team. So for me, I have no doubt about it. But he has a point in saying that why sign Zirkzee, who is 23? Zirkzee is not even starting for Netherlands. He's not even coming off the bench to play a few minutes. Wout Weghorst is getting minutes ahead of him. he was a late addition into the team when two other players failed to make the cut because of injuries. So he's not really that highly considered even for Netherlands. So he's saying, why are we bringing in this another player like that? For me, I think what Dwight York is saying that would rather go for the 31-year-old German international, the Borussia Dortmund striker Niklas Füllkrug, who scored 12 goals and assisted 8 times for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga last season. And of course, what he says is, what Rasmus Højlund needs, or what Man United need, is a striker who is way older than Højlund for him to learn from. But bringing in a player who is within his age range is literally, not helping him. You're not doing anything, which he has a point for. But for me, I think what Man United, the target for Manchester United, is not to bring in a player for Højlund to learn from. I think they have decided that with time, naturally, Højlund will learn and do better. But they have trusted him, but rather they just need in a striker who is going to be his backup, but also able to start games when he's not fit. And Joshua Zirkzee fits that profile because how does it hurt for you to have two young players who are high potential when you're rebuilding? Because the target for Ineos now is not really to be competing with Man City or Arsenal for titles the next season. But if you bring in a 31-year-old striker, which Ineos completely doesn't want to do, because they are saying this has been part of the mistakes that United has been doing for long. So what Dwight York is suggesting would be okay if our priorities were to try and compete immediately for titles, bring in a more experience for this boy to learn from. But if we are looking at rebuilding the team altogether, we have to look at a long-term option of a striker. And I think for me, that's exactly what Ineos have decided to go for. So it's an interesting conversation, of course, going on about Zirkzee. But as it is now, Manchester United are believed to be closing in on the move after speaking to the player. Of course, when it comes to the club, they'll just need to trigger the buyout clause. And don't be surprised if he becomes the first signing for Manchester United in the summer. It is highly possible that Füllkrug will be the first Joshua Zirkzee will be the first signing for Manchester United. It is highly likely that Joshua Zirkzee will be the first signing for Manchester United this summer, or should we say the first major Ineos signing in this summer. And if we get that, then the next should be a centre-back, because before pre-season, the idea is at least to have those two departments sorted as they critically look for the right options in the other positions they need to boost. For me, I've got completely no doubts about it. If their priorities are to build for the longer good, I think for me, it's never bad for you to plan long term, is it? It's never bad. It's never a wrong thing for you to plan long term. It's always what is encouraged. You should be planning and thinking about the future. Plan long term. Other than being short sighted, bring a 31-year-old guy who's going to give you one good season, probably, and they're done. Why not then say, you know what, we can be patient a bit, bring two young players, they grow together, and we see what we get out of them. At least they have a striker coach in Benny McCarthy, who Eric Ten Hag trusts and believes he should be staying at Man United. So that's where we are. Like, share, and subscribe. My name is Webb, and I'll catch you later.